guys, it's Kaylee again. I have another story for you. Our story today is The Lonely Scarecrow. And like always, let's go over the parts of the book first. We have the front, the back, and the spine of the book. The Lonely Scarecrow. This, boys and girls, is the title. The title is the name of the book. And let's look at the cover. So if we look at the picture, I see a field, I see rabbits, and a fox and some other animals. Does anyone know what this is? That's right, it's a scarecrow. Does anyone know what scarecrows are used for? Yes, scarecrows are used by farmers to make sure that crows and birds don't eat their crops. Right, let's read our story, The Lonely Scarecrow. In the middle of a field, under a sky the color of cornflowers, stood a scarecrow. He had a scary face, but a kindly heart. More than anything, he wished that the animals and birds would be his friends. And there he is, all by himself. Poor scarecrow. But the creatures of the field were afraid of the scarecrow's flapping coat and big black hat. They were afraid of his beady eyes, his crooked nose, and his jagged metal mouth. He does look a little scary. I think I'd probably be afraid of him too. In the spring, the scarecrow watched the animals play at the edge of his field. He watched the birds as they made their nests. He watched the carefree tumblings of fox cubs and rabbits. He listened to the noisy ducklings by the old pond. And all the time, the animals watched the scary scarecrow, but they never came near. And there's our picture. Each day, the swaying wheat in the field grew taller. The scarecrow lost sight of the animals. He lost even the happy song of the lark, drowned out by the whispering of the wheat. Marooned in his golden sea, the scarecrow lost hope of ever making friends. Oh, he looks so lonely by himself. Then the combine monster came to harvest the wheat. The animals hid from its churning jaws and the ravaged acres of mud and stubble that it left behind. They also hid from the scarecrow, who stood alone now in the empty field. And if you look, there's the combine. And there's the scarecrow all alone. From the north came a sly breeze that stole the leaves from the trees and the light from the days. The animals hurried home to their warm burrows and cozy nests. And the scarecrow felt even lonelier, for he knew that winter was coming. We know that a lot of animals hibernate in the winter. Snow fell heavily one night and kept on falling. It fell on the bare, still woods and on the silent fields. Slowly, it covered the ground where the scarecrow stood. In the morning, the animals woke to a world that had changed. A thick blanket of snow covered the frozen earth. The scarecrow seemed to have vanished too. In his place stood a jolly snowman. Is that really a snowman? The creatures played happily in the field, rolling and tumbling in the snow around the scarecrow. And the scarecrow? Well, he was as cheerful and bright as the sunny winter day. Look, the snow covered the scarecrow. It's really not a snowman. It's the scarecrow in disguise. Although he was happy, the scarecrow was afraid of what would happen when he lost his snowy coat. He was afraid that the animals would shrink from his twisted shape. Most of all, he was afraid he would be alone again. And then the snow began to thaw. The snow slipped off the scarecrow's shoulders and dripped from the brim of his hat. When the last patches of snow fell from his face, the animals looked up in wonder. Could the friendly snowman be the same scary creature they had feared for so long? As the warmth of spring stirred the brown earth, the Scarecrow felt a bird peck at his hat and a mouse nestle in the folds of his coat. And the Scarecrow knew that he would never be lonely again. Oh, so the Scarecrow was able to make friends. And that is the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed it. Whenever I was a teacher teaching first grade and kindergarten, this was one of my favorite stories to read to my class. Well, if you liked what you saw, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Goodbye.